I wanted to ask you a little bit about your role at Bath Planet, Arkansas, and how long you've been with the company.
Cool. So I got my start in this industry, I guess you would say, with the company that has been working with Quinn Street and Modernize for probably 15 years. It's now Win Choice USA. And I started in their marketing department. I was a telemarketer. Saw the opportunity to join the sales team at Bath Planet. And I don't know, I sold for probably 6 or 7 months. They called me back to Win Choice to help run their marketing department. I did that for about a year. And in that time, we had grown our relationship with you guys exponentially. And the two owners, they offered me to kind of take over the wheel at Bath Planet and steer the ship for a little while. And man, it was tough at first, So I started as the GM during this time period and worked for about 2 years with the guys and then paid off, I don't know, exorbitant amount of debt that they had accrued in the first 3 or 4 years in business. And they let me use that debt that I had paid off as a down payment, and they sold Bath Planet to me. So kind of, a Cinderella story going from the telemarketing department to the owner chair. It's a blessing, and then I got to learn on somebody else's dime how to run a business for a couple of years before making the plunge.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I would say, based on your background, it sounds like you understand the importance of lead generation to generate success in your business. Could you tell us a little bit about your philosophy when it comes to lead generation?
Yeah, so marketing is my absolute favorite. Like, it's where the journey starts. I'm not big on like branding or anything like that because we use lead aggregators like yourself. It really doesn't matter to the customer who we are. It just matters to them that we can take care of their project. We can do it in a timely manner. And the end game is what they're looking for. So with you guys, I like that a lot of the advertising is already done. And you guys do a pretty good job at it.
Could you share a little bit of what we do to define a pretty good job for you and your business?
Yeah. So like I said, I've been with Quinn Street probably since about 2014, and it gets a little better each year. So what I contribute our most recent success to is I have a call scheduled with Anthony, our account rep, every week, 2 times a week. We talk, we look at our cost of marketing. We look at each specific product that we buy from you guys. Sometimes one will get a little out of whack and we'll make some adjustments. And then, sometimes one is overperforming and we throw a little gas on that fire. So I think that not only the accountability, but the relationship built is something that I look forward to every week because I used to think I knew our numbers, but now I know our numbers like inside and out. I've got reports that I've broken down to where it shows me walk-in shower leads, walk-in shower sales, the conversion rate, the issue rate, the demo rate, and it breaks down every little bit of information that I need to just to make the next move.
Sounds like we've got a really good partnership with you, thanks to Anthony. Can you share a little bit about performance? Like, it sounds like our conversion rates on our leads. How has that helped you in your business financially?
So financially, it's great. Year over year, 22 to 23, our biggest year with you guys was about 800,000 in sales. Last year, I want to say we did close to 4 million in sales from Quinn Street Modernized leads. This year, we're already at I don't know, 1.2 or 1. I'd say 1.2 is probably pretty close. And it just keeps getting better. You know, they forecast some changes and some of the TPCA compliance, TCPA. Yeah. And I trust that you guys are ahead of the game and you're making adjustments now that to where it won't affect us as much here as it will in some of the other places that we advertise with.
Um, absolutely. I'm wowed by your success, which is fantastic. When you talk about trust, what are some of the aspects that you feel like create that trust with us? What are some of the things that have helped us gain your trust?
The proven track record, you know. There's a lot of Bath Planet's not a franchise. They call it a network of dealers, and there's a couple of dealers that I network with that when I mentioned Quinn Street or Modernized or something like that, they're like, "Oh, well, we tried and it just didn't work." And I'm like, "Okay, so your call center, how was it set up? How many times are you calling those leads a day? If you're not burning a hole in those leads, you're not calling them. And if you're not succeeding with them, and if you're not calling them as soon as get the lead, then man, somebody's already got a hold of them. Somebody's already called them 4 or 5 times, got them on the phone, got them on the schedule. And if you're not the first one out there, we used to think we wanted to be the third quote, but man, we'd rather be first out. We're going to sell them. We close at about a 50% clip right now, and it's a well-oiled machine, and I think 60 to 65% of our business right now is probably Quinn Street Modernized leads.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. And it sounds like that was also an iterative process on your end based on your background, of course. But could you tell us a little bit about how you're organizing and accepting those leads and the process? Like, it sounds like you're having those conversations with other stakeholders. What are you doing?
So when we receive a lead from you guys, it pours directly into our CRM. We just signed with Channel Automation. It's a company that integrates artificial intelligence into like a drip system. As soon as we receive the lead, they send them a text message, an email. They start a communication log with them, and we can keep that up. There's different channels that they go through. If we set the appointment and they have to cancel for some reason, there's another text funnel that they go to. Hey, we saw that you had to cancel your appointment. We hate that. It'll hit them with the text the first day, the second day, the third day, and it'll just keep in. You have to stay at the front of people's mind. You can't get to the back. If you get to the back, you're gone. So we've got a really good call center. Like I mentioned, that's where I got my start. So I know how to set a lead. I know how to rebut, a customer's complaints or excuses. And you have to see them as just that. They don't have time. That's an excuse. They don't have money. Well, what do you need money for? We're giving you information that you asked for. You literally put your name, address, phone number, email address, everything short of your date of birth and your social security number on the web to receive some kind of information like you're invested. So we've got probably I feel one of the best call centers in our industry. I put them up against anybody. It's a room full of ladies, and they don't take no for an answer. You wanted the information, we're going to get it to you. We don't have to twist an arm or anything like that, but how can I say this? We are going to persuade you to follow through with what you started.
Great. That's great. And I think, like, I know you're sharing this, but I would say, what advice you have, based on your call center practices, your lead generation practices, and working with us? What are other, pieces of advice that you would give to anyone that is interested in using Modernize as a service?
I wrote that down. I put, don't, stay away, stay out of our market. Now, I like to see people succeed. Nobody's going to take what I have to say or what you have to say and take it to the bank and fully incorporate it. So I'm not scared. It's just like this case study. I'm not afraid to tell people how we do it because I don't feel that somebody's going to put the passion or the effort into what we do like we do. You know, they're going to say, oh, well, I need to call them. They're going to call them 2 or 3 times a day. We've got 6 or 7 call center reps, and each one of them are calling a new lead probably 4 to 7 times a day. So that's 4 to 7 times 6 on the first day. And then on the second day, it may go down by 1 call per rep each, you know, and the farther that it goes down the line, it just kind of trickles into it. I tell people we bought that information. That phone number is ours. So burn it up, you know, and there's one of the reasons why we do call so much is because we know that there are people out there, fly by night people, chucking a truck, we like to call them, that are going to come in, take advantage of a situation. You know, we could be, we could sit back and just hit home runs on 2 out of 8 leads or 2 out of 8 demonstrations and do really well, but we would like to offer a great product, great service at a fair price to 5 out of 8 people. And so we know that if we can get out there first, we can make sure that the customer's taken care of on the front end, on the back end. If the customer has any kind of problem, we take care of them. We service them. You know, we offer a lifetime warranty on our product. So we're your family for life. You know, we've just started about 10 or 15, probably 12 to 15% of our volume now is through referrals. And we pay our customer $100 per referral that lets us view their demonstration. We also pay the referral $100, whether they buy or not. So we're big on referrals. We want to incorporate that more in our business. So that's also a built-in accountability measure for us to do a good job, for us to do what we say we're going to do and take care of our customers all the way through.
You know, I think one of the biggest things that we want to know, lastly, is, you know, what are some of the pain points you're seeing in your business, and what do you see as those pain points, and how are you going to solve them, just holistically?
So, you know, so I recently, I was over, so me and my wife, we're a tag team. She's over production. She handles all the installers. She handles customer service. She does our financing on the sales side. And for the longest time, I was over sales and marketing. So I've replaced myself in a sales manager, and I have a call center manager that it probably does about 80% of that role for me. I still work with our budgets, work with the different lead companies and stuff like that. But it's kind of managing the growth, you know. We almost grew by 200% last year, and it was kind of tough, you know, keeping up with installers. Man, you know, I think we got spoiled to thinking um, people were as uh, commodities. When people to do the work and the hard work, it's really hard to find somebody that you trust. Nobody sees me as the face of Bath Planet. The sales rep and the installer that come into their home, they're the hands and the feet of our company. So to find somebody that represents our company the way that we want it represented, it's tough, you know. So we spend a lot of time training. We spend a lot of time retraining. We've had the 6 sales reps that we have right now, majority of them for 2+ years. We've got 3 that came on last year that we don't see an end in sight. You know, they're people that we're going to retain and keep retraining. So the growth, what I was getting at when I said I was over sales and marketing, now my major role in the company, I like to call myself the meteorologist. I like to foresee the storms, and I like to prepare for them and be ready, you know, kind of batten down the hatches before it gets here and make sure that we can withstand the storm. You know, COVID was tough. You know, we went through a lot of things And luckily, we didn't have to downsize. We didn't have to let anybody go or anything like that. We just kind of buckled down and took care of our own and weathered the storm, and one of the good things that happened are, the people that we needed to stay here stuck around, and the people that we didn't need to be here, they kind of rid themselves. And we've been able to change the culture here, and it is everybody wants everyone to succeed. On the sales team, most of the time when you deal with sales representatives, it's kind of dog eat dog. I don't want to teach them this because they'll take my leads. Every sales representative that we have shows love around the board to every new sales rep, and it's not like that at all. And I feel like that's a culture that we've established in the past few years that's also aided in our success.
That's great. Thank you. Last question for me. As a meteorologist of your company, how would you sign off to us if you were signing off in your meteorologist seat?
So my big thing as a leader is the learning curve. And as long as we're all curving up, I think that we're going in the right direction. Everybody's got areas that they can work on. One of the things that I talked to Anthony about when I say, hey, like today we talked about our cost of marketing, it was at 15%. And he's like, well, we can do this and it'll lower, your lead cost a little bit, talking about the tiers. And I'm like, man, let's make it through this month. There's some things on our end that I don't think that we're doing the best that we can. And I think that honesty, because before, oh man, the leads are not good, they need to be better. That's only half the tale. You have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, hey, are we performing at the level that we're normally performing at? So we've got a pretty tight-knit, smaller marketing team, and a lot of our call center reps, we do home shows and events and stuff like that. So a lot of our call center reps, they're working on the weekends to help us fill that gap. Well, this past weekend, we had 2 home shows in 2 different parts of the state. So we had 2 girls working the weekend. So this week, they've trimmed back their hours so they weren't going, crazy overtime. So that's one of the things that I think is aiding to our struggle a little bit this week. And we've got to right the ship before we say, hey, I need you to be better. And I think that's one of the things that we've also done is not only accountability for our team, but saying, hey, if I want you to be better, I've got to look in the mirror and make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do to ask that of you.
Well, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate this and your perspective. I think your story and your success is not only because of the great story of you and your relationship with us, but vice versa. It's your openness to working with us and continuing that partnership. So I really do appreciate your perspective there. And I hope and I'm sure you hear it from Anthony, like that partnership is a partnership. And it's great to hear that on both sides of the spectrum, we're working together to continue to grow.
Absolutely.